Today we're going to start our new unit, and our new unit is matrices. So today we're going to do an intro to basic matrix operations. So what is a matrix? A matrix is a different way that we can organize information. So let's say you are ordering lunches for like day one for the junior or for day one, like that first day of school when we're back. And let's say you can order pizza, you could order a sandwich, or we could have pasta. And we have to tally what the ninth graders want, 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders, what they want. And so maybe there's 50 that want sandwiches, 130 and 25, 10th graders. Maybe there's 150, 100, and I'm just making up these numbers, 26, 122, 37, 150. They really want pasta. 150, 60, and 120. So the way you organize this is called a matrix. And a matrix is made up of rows and columns. And you'll see these little brackets around it. So this matrix, you always name matrix, is the row by column. So this matrix, we would say it's a 4 by 3 matrix. 4 rows, 3 columns. A lot of times you will see that called the order or the dimensions of a matrix. And all that is, it's the rows by columns. So I'm going to write a couple of matrices here. So let's say we have A equals 8, 3, 4, 2, 1, 7. B equals -3, -2, 1, 6, 4, -5. And C equals 3, 2, 4, 6. So when you add or subtract matrices, they have to have the same dimensions. So if we were to list the order of the dimensions, this is a 3 by 2 matrix. 1, 2, 3. This is a 3 by 2 matrix. This one is a 2 by 2. So the only ones we could add together are A and B. So let's say the first thing we're supposed to find is A plus B. When you add matrices, you add element for element. So you would have this first element here. We'd take 8 and -3. So 8 and -3, we add those together, we get 5. Then we would take our next one, 3 plus -2, and we would get -1. 4 and 1, we end up with 5. 2 and 6 would go right here, we end up with 8. Then our next spot, 1 and 4, we end up with 5. And then this last one here, 7 and -5, whoops, it's the same color, we end up with 2. You do the same thing if I was asked you to subtract matrices. It's element for element, except you're subtracting. So that's first one, we have 8 minus -3. Well, 2 minuses is positive, so we end up with 11. 3 minus -2. 4 minus 1 is 3. 2 minus 6 is -4. 1 minus 4 is -3. 7 minus -5 is 12. Now, one other thing, so there's a couple things that I want you to talk about. If I would have asked the next one, what is the element? And again, these are just vocab words. In A, I'm going to delete this right here. We don't need that. In matrix A, and if I said 3, 1. So this tells us to refer to matrix 3. This is telling us the row number. This is telling us the column number. So if we go to matrix A, row 3, so grab a different color here. So we got 1, 2, 3. Row 3, column 1 is that 1. If I would have said what is in A2, 2, it's the same thing, row 2, column 2. So row 2, column 2 is the number 2. You could, and it can be that number, the letter out in front refers to the matrix. So if I would have said B1, 1, row 1, column 1, going back up here, looking at matrix B, that would be -3. I'm going to make this a little smaller because we're still going to use some of this stuff. We can also multiply by a scalar. So if I would have said, what is 3 times matrix A? We multiply every element by 3. So we would have 24, 6, going back to A, times 3 is 12, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3, 7 times 3 is 21. So that's what is multiplying by a scalar. So the very last thing we're going to look at, I'm going to give us a couple more matrices. So let's say A is -2, 5, 6, and 3. B is -6, 10, -20, and 4. And so for the last problem, let's say I said, what is 3A minus half B? So the easiest thing to do is write that matrix. So let's double that matrix here, or triple. It's -6, 15, 18, and 9, minus, we're doing half B, so -3, 5, -10, and 2. And then again, we go element for element. So -6, but make sure it's minus -3, so that it turns into a plus. So we got -3. We have 15 minus 5. So we'd have a 10 there. 18 minus -10. So that gives us a 28. Then the last one, 9 minus 2, leaves us with 7.